Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. September 12th, 2017.
2:05 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, incredibly important segment coming up. I think it's one of the biggest issues that we face in America today, to me, without a doubt. But before I get to that, I just want to give another heads up to everybody. Please join me tomorrow, in particular, WRKO, the American Red Cross. We're going to be having a blood drive tomorrow, noon to 5 p.m. at the Comfort Inn in Randolph, Massachusetts, located on Route 28 off of Exit 5 on Route 93. It's a very important cause. I'm not kidding. You will probably save a life tomorrow. Chances are you probably will save somebody's life by giving blood. So we're going to be broadcasting live from noon to 3. I hope to meet all of you that come there. You can go to wrko.com/blood to get more details. Tomorrow, noon to 5 p.m. at the Comfort Inn in Randolph, Mass., located on Route 28 off of Exit 5 on Route 93. Please, Kuhner Country, if you can make it, come and give blood, please. Okay. Why this story, actually I do know why, but why this story is not getting more media, political, public attention is beyond me. The reason is obvious. They don't want you to know what's actually taking place. If you were to ask me, who is the greatest hero, I don't know, of the last 10, 15 years? One of them, not the hero, but one of them would be Edward Snowden. Why? Because I think he blew the lid, he blew the whistle on the greatest civil liberties violation, the greatest abuse of our Constitution of our time. And in particular, what he exposed is that in the wake of the 9/11 Islamic terrorist attacks, both parties, Republicans and Democrats, the Bush administration and the Obama administration, the deep state, the political establishment in collusion with the media, used it as a massive power grab. They hijacked those attacks to grab as much power as possible for themselves and to assault and erode our fundamental civil liberties and personal civil rights and personal liberties. I think to me, the evidence on this is irrefutable. And in particular, they erected, to me it's a euphemism, the national surveillance state. It really is a soft police state. It's not the jackboot on your throat, but it's very similar to what the Stasi or the KGB or the Gestapo did in other totalitarian governments. They conducted they are conducting and did conduct massive spying and surveillance upon tens of millions of Americans. Listening in on your phone calls, reading your emails. By the way, all of this, no warrant, no probable cause. They did it because they could and they wanted to. In the name of, quote, national security, in the name of fighting the war on terrorism. They go through your social media. They go through your texts. They are essentially listening in and spying on you. It is the greatest violation of the Bill of Rights, of the Constitution, of the First Amendment, of the Fourth Amendment, and of our civil liberties. And now, the key provision that gave the power to the NSA to engage in massive surveillance and mass spying is now up for reauthorization. It is called Section 702 of the FISA Act, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. The key section is Section 702. That is the one that allows the National Security Agency to tap the communications, technically of foreigners, that are located abroad for allegedly intelligence purposes, but has been manipulated and twisted by the NSA to then look at Americans that are communicating with foreigners and then Americans here in the United States. That's the key provision that they have used and abused to engage in their massive surveillance. It is now up for reauthorization. And already now, you are seeing both parties split on the issue. And in particular, Rand Paul, and God bless him, is leading the charge to not reauthorize Section 702, don't renew 702, but to kill it. And by killing it, you will then kill at least the legal authority that the NSA uses to justify, to me, their gross abuse of power and their massive surveillance of you, me, and tens of millions of Americans. I want you to listen now to Edward Snowden describe what he did as an NSA analyst. And remember, when he blew the whistle, he said there was nothing unique about me. This is the power and the ability that we and the NSA had because of the authority given to us by FISA, by the Patriot Act, and in particular by Section 702. Roll it, Brittany.
I, sitting my desk, certainly had the authorities to wiretap anyone from you or your accountant to a federal judge to even the president if I had a personal email.
That to me is incredible. I mean, that to me is just incredible. We're not free. If they can spy on us at all times and read our emails, our private personal correspondence, listen in on our conversations whenever they feel like it, willy-nilly, if they can go through our social media, they can go through all of our private communications and listen in on everything we say and do, we're not free. We're not free. And what's amazing is this. As they have amassed more and more power over our lives and eroded our civil liberties and personal liberties, the terrorists continue to attack us. If it was effective, I'd say, well, okay, at least we're trading something. We're trading liberty for security, but we're not getting either. So terrorist attacks continue. Just take what happened here in Boston. The Tsarnaev brothers fell right through the cracks, baby. Look what happened in Orlando. Right through the cracks, baby. San Bernardino. Right through the cracks, baby. In other words, they're not even catching actual terrorists. But what they are doing, and now we have found this out, thanks to President Trump and his campaign, they were spying on Trump. They're spying on Paul Manafort. They're spying on Carter Page. They're spying on Jared Kushner. They're spying on Roger Stone. They're spying on people in the Trump campaign to see if they could get political dirt and then use it to say for Hillary's operatives or Obama's operatives to destroy a political candidate that they don't like. They're not using it to go after terrorists. They're using it for their own personal political goals and agendas. And in fact, to cover it up, the people who are the architects of this massive surveillance, of this police state, this soft police state, okay, this 21st century Stasi, when asked about it under oath, themselves lied. Lied under oath, committed naked and open perjury. Don't believe me? Listen now to former Director of National Intelligence, the Clapperhead himself, James Clapper, who's, when he's asked by, and to his credit, he's been great on this issue, Democrat Ron Wyden from Oregon, who knew, by the way, that the NSA was spying on millions of Americans. Listen to this exchange between Wyden, who's questioning Clapper under oath, and listen to how Clapper, he was then Director of National Intelligence, lied and lied and lied.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly.
That's unbelievable. That's just to me, how did he should be in jail. That was perjury. You and I commit perjury. We're going to prison. Not only would you and I go to prison, if we're committing perjury about something as vast and grotesque as this, we're talking about a massive abuse of power that strikes at the very core of our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, and our individual liberties, and we were to lie about this to Congress under oath, they'd have handcuffs waiting for us the moment we got out of the chamber. And that's why, if you notice, when he said, are you conducting mass surveillance of Americans? No. Why? Like, no? Like, what? Well, not wittingly. Well, that's not true. Exhibit A is Snowden. We were doing it wittingly. We're doing it to anybody we wanted to do it. And so, to me, there is no question in my mind, that Section 702 is, to me, illegal, unethical, unconstitutional, and fundamentally un-American. A constitutional republic has no business conducting mass spying and mass surveillance on its own citizens. Yes, if you believe somebody is a terrorist, what you do is you get a warrant from a judge. It's called probable cause. You can have a system in place that expedites the warrant so it can be done quickly. But to just give unaccountable, unelected bureaucrats who live in the shadows the power and the authority and the tools, the vast technology and the means to just arbitrarily, willy-nilly say, you know what? I want to see what Brittany Jennings is talking about tonight. Who is she talking to on the phone tonight? You know what? What the hell is Jared? What's he emailing to his friend about? Let me take a look at this. What's my ex-wife up to? My ex-husband. Was he cheating on me, that son of a gun? Huh? When he wanted a divorce. Let me look into his emails. That has no place in a free society. None whatsoever. I say don't renew 702. Agree, disagree. 617-266-6868. And let me ask you one more question. The 9/11 attacks yesterday was the 16th year anniversary. We talked about, are we winning or are we losing? The 16 years now we're in the war on terror. Are we starting to lose our civil liberties? I'm going to take your calls, 617-266-6868, and also coming up next, unbelievably invasive new pat-down enhanced procedures by the TSA. They're now being unveiled and used at airports all across the country. I want to describe to you exactly what's taking place. You tell me if that's not sexual assault. That story, your calls, next. 224 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, so Congress is now going to be debating, as I said, whether to reauthorize Section 702, which is the key provision of the FISA Act, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. That's the provision that gives the NSA the ability to essentially conduct mass spying. Spy on you, spy on me, spy on anybody they want to spy on, whenever and however they feel like it. To me, the question is now clear. We should say no. Don't renew 702. I know that Rand Paul is going to be leading the charge. And so to me, one of the clear realities of American life is that in the wake of 9/11, last 16 years, our civil liberties, our personal liberties, our privacy rights are slowly becoming eroded in the war on terror. In the name of fighting this war on terror, the Constitution's being shredded and our rights are slowly being shredded. And it's not just mass spying. Listen now to this. You are going to start facing this now in airports all over the country. The TSA's new enhanced pat-down procedure is now being implemented. So, it began this weekend in many airports. According to a very good piece by John McCormick in the Weekly Standard, he actually was a victim now of this new enhanced pat-down procedure. And he says, for those of you who are curious, here's exactly what happened. So on Sunday evening, September 10th, this was at the Kansas City airport, he goes through a metal detector in the TSA pre-security line. Out of the blue, he's randomly selected to see if a machine would detect explosives on my hands. So I guess they're trying out some of these these explosives these machines that detect explosives. So they swabbed his palms, and the machine apparently detected explosives. He says, I never been recently handle a gun, flammable liquids, nothing. He says another passenger said, hey, the same machine detected explosives on the guy that just went in front of you. So it's pretty obvious there's a malfunction with the machine. Well, it doesn't matter, because the machine is going na-na. Now they have to do a mandatory enhanced pat-down procedure. Now, and he stresses this, the TSA agent was very professional. The TSA agent knew exactly what he was doing. In fact, he says, you can tell he doesn't want to be groping me. He'd rather be doing something else. Like, he really doesn't want to be doing this. But these are now new orders implemented by TSA, and so he's just following government orders. So he goes, what he does is, here's now the standard new enhanced pat-down procedure. The agent runs his hand inside your waistband, then runs his hand up the back of each leg until what they call, quote unquote, he meets resistance. Meaning, forgive me, he goes right up into the crotch. Up and down. I'm not kidding. Up and down. 3-4 times. Up and down. So he's, forgive me, he's grabbing your junk. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Once he's done with that, he then goes to the front of each leg, and again, the same thing. Except then the TSA agent swipes the front of his hands. So now it's the palm 3 or 4 times, I swear to you, right over the zipper area. He said, in my case, a Gap outlet comfort stretch khakis. So right over the guy's khakis, 3 or 4 times, there he is, digging in there. Digging and digging and digging. He says the whole thing was just incredibly violating, demeaning, degrading. He said, however, that last part with the front of the hands, jamming it up the crotch and going up and down, he said that last part was the most unpleasant. He said, no, really, he goes, at this point, I almost began to feel like this is sexual assault. Like, this is really, as an American citizen, I should not have to endure this. And look, you know, he says, look, even he says, he goes, look, I'm not a crazy ACLU type. He goes, you know, I have no problem with body scanners or even previous TSA pat-downs. But he goes, once the state, an agent of the state, starts grabbing a citizen's genitals 7, 8, 9, 10 times repeatedly, and you have to stand there and take it, now you're starting to degrade and demean your own citizens. Now this is getting into the area of, really, honestly, sexual assault. Because if somebody did this to me in the studio, or in the hallway, or at work, or wherever, somebody starts grabbing my crotch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, that's, first of all, I'd hit him. or her, bang, like, get off my crotch. But it's sexual assault. I mean, it just is. It's sexual assault. Hands off my junk. Feminists always say hands off my body. No. Hands off my junk. The government has no business grabbing my crotch or grabbing your crotch. This is the war on our civil liberties. To me, this is why I think we're losing the war on terror. Because the state gets more powerful and our freedoms and liberties get less and less and less. To the point now that we have agents of the government in front of everybody grabbing us in the you-know-where. And we have no choice but to stand there, smile, and take it. 617-266-6868. Let me ask you this. What do you make of these enhanced TSA pat-downs? What will you do, honestly, if this is done to you? And have you experienced anything close to this? And is this a form of sexual assault? Should it end? I say yes. 617-266-6868. Your calls next.
WRKO, the voice of Boston.
Hey, what are you doing down there? Hey, whoa, hey, that hurts. Hey, come on now. What are you doing? Hey, come on now. What are you doing down there, for God's sakes? 617-266-6868. That's the Kuhner man now, apparently getting an enhanced pat-down from the TSA. They have a new enhanced pat-down procedure. It's now being unveiled in many airports. Believe me, some of you, if you're flying, chances are you may run into one of these. So, let me ask you this. Are these new enhanced TSA pat-down procedures, whereby now the procedure is to, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, get into the crotch area and get in good and rub it good? Is this a gross violation of civil liberties? Is this borderline sexual assault? I say yes. Should this procedure should they end this procedure? I say yes. Agree, disagree. 617-266-6868. A lot of texts are pouring in. This is from 404, I believe. Jeff, what is the issue with the enhanced pat-down procedures with the TSA? Service like that costs you at least an extra $100 at an Asian massage parlor. 508, Jeff, you say the agent touched a man's junk. What about a woman? What about her junk? Yes. It's the same thing for women, although I think it's going to be female TSA agents, not men. But still, it's going to be there. It's going to be rubbing and touching 7, 8, 9 times. In fact, remember when then candidate Trump, during the campaign, the media released a tape, the infamous Billy Bush tape. I think it was in 2005, where then Trump said this on tape. Roll it, Brit.
Hey, when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab him by the you can do anything.
That's what they're doing now. This is what I find incredible. So all the feminists and the liberals were enraged. They're up in arms. Oh, he said that. He can't be president. Oh, my God, he's assaulting women. He's talking about assaulting women. Grab them by the pee. Well, the TSA now are going to be grabbing, frankly, forgive me, not just women by the pee, but men, in the crude term, their pee as well. They're going to be grabbing everybody's pee. So where are the feminists? Where are the liberals? 617-266-6868. This is from 978. Hey, Jeff, how about doing that to Muslims when they have their hijabs on? Aha! I'd like to see them try that. I got a funny feeling, You see a woman in a hijab or a burqa, I don't think they're going to go there. Just my opinion. Okay, Andy in New Hampshire. Go ahead, Andy.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi.
You know, first I really want to say is I love you in a very sexual way.
Okay.
Hopefully you got CSA agent. I'm just joking on that. Okay. I see it in a little bit of a different light. This goes back to George Bush. We just had 9/11.
You got to call back. Your phone is horrible. Hopefully we'll get a better connection. Okay, Paul in Boston. Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, geez, I wish I could sit and talk to you at length about this, but I understand this time. The reason I'm calling is listening to this. It's a great subject to bring it up. This has been going on for decades, not just now, but it had to do with like the war on drugs was part of it. There's a globalist movement to take our freedoms away. What concerns me most right now, and I see it, this is why I called, if you go around the city of Boston, you will see cameras on almost every street corner, every street light and everything. They are getting to the point where they are going to monitor every move, every action, and they push it on us for our safety. That's how they win it.
No, Paul, I agree with you. And look, it was Benjamin Franklin who warned us, one of our greatest founding fathers, that a people that are willing to exchange their liberty for their security will, in the end, will lose both, and they will deserve to lose both. And that's what's starting to happen to us. We are trading our liberty in the name of safety or security, and believe it or not, we're less safe and we're less free, and we're starting to lose both. And to me, look, I mean, I want to see what the reaction is because they're just unveiling these practices now. It's just beginning. But in all honesty, look, I'm no tough guy. I don't claim to be a tough guy. But if somebody starts grabbing my crotch, no, really, honestly, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, I'm like, buddy, blank off. No, really. Look, I don't want terrorists going through TSA lines. But, buddy, take it easy, man. You know, there's just you don't have to do that. That's a violation. That's a gross violation. And so, no, I'm with this guy in the Weekly Standard all the way. All the way. And so, look, I'm going to fly less. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't fly often now. But now, I don't need this. My children don't need it. My wife doesn't need it. I don't need this. Who the hell needs this? Now, what I want to ask you is this. How the hell do we go from 19 Muslim terrorists hijacking 4 planes, Muslim extremists, to this? How come all of us have to be quote-unquote profiled? We're all potential terrorists because they don't want to single out Islamic extremists. So in the name of political correctness, they have to sacrifice our rights, our freedoms, our liberties, hell, our very dignity. No. I'm sorry, no. To me, this TSA procedure has to go. The sooner, the better. Agree? Disagree? Ronnie in Boston. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for taking the call. I called in to address the first part of the segment when you were talking about Edward Snowden and the collection of data.
Yes, well, it's all part of the same thing.
Yeah, when you asked, are we losing our privacy? I think sometimes, Jeff, we're voluntarily giving it up more than the government's taking it away. You know, the same people that complain about the government listening in and cameras going up everywhere are the same people that post everything that they're thinking every minute of the day on Facebook. They post what they're eating for dinner that night with pictures. They post every bar they go to, every restaurant they go to. They post every single thing that their significant other's doing, that their kids are doing, and then they turn around and say, gee, what happened to my privacy? So I think it's kind of a combination of, yes, the government's definitely doing things that they shouldn't, but we're all so fascinated with everyone in the world knowing what we're thinking and up to. You know, we have this idea so important that we just post everything. The government doesn't have to spy on you to know what you're up to. They just got to look at your Facebook page or your Twitter account, and you've already posted out everything, right down to what you're eating.
Oh, brilliant. Ronnie, let me ask you this. You make an absolutely brilliant point. What is it with this obsession? And it is an obsession, you're right, of people, like their most private, intimate moments. I don't know, your anniversary, I don't know, a date, a proposal, whatever, a marriage, whatever it is. And right away, it's got to go up on Facebook. The whole world has to see the most personal, intimate moments of your life. Like,
right. And I understand that people are proud of financial success that they've experienced, or they're proud of their kids and stuff like that. But at the same time, when that kid becomes an adult, the internet is full of decades of stories, pictures, images that child did not put up there, and probably later in life won't want up there, but their parents did it. And so all this involuntary information's been collected, but the government has nothing to do with it, Jeff. Nothing.
Interesting. Thank you for that call,
You're
Ronnie.
welcome, Jeff.
Brittany, you wanted to weigh in. You said what? It's
because
attention?
people want attention. People want to feel important, Jeff. They want people to like their pictures and comment on it and let people believe that they live this wonderful life so that they get attention.
No, but I mean, let's just say, okay, look, I'm at somebody's party. Okay, I'm a 17, 18, 19-year-old student.
So people think that they're doing something so they don't look like a loser, that they're just sitting at home twiddling their thumbs every night. Like, they want people to think that they're out having a good time and everything.
So, yeah, so do I
It's
got to
all
show...
for attention.
Do I have to, show the world that I'm drunk as a skunk, I'm 6 sheets to the wind, and I'm taking my top off, I'm going topless, and I'm jumping in the pool? Ha, 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 ha. No,
because
really.
you want to be cool. That's what I think it is, and I've noticed it with Facebook and everything. People I've gone to college with, they post everything on there because they want to feel important. They want people to see what they're doing.
Well, I mean, if they want to get rid of their privacy, they're getting it now. I mean, now it's grab them by the P. Now the TSA, it's a license to grab. 617-266-6868. John in Watertown. Thanks for holding. Go ahead, John.
I need a couple extra minutes, Jeff, because I'm not your average guy, okay? Now, we love you. No one says you're not a right guy and you don't love your country, okay? But you're a little bit drinking too much Kool-Aid. Now, listen carefully. Okay? If people don't like what's going on in the airport, stop flying for a year. The airplanes would go so crazy, they put so much pressure on Congress that it would stop, okay? So you have to be an activist, and you are, somewhat. But now, number two, I missed yesterday, but listen to this. When is the last time you used your computer to go online, Jeff, and find out what's going on with 9/11? You have no idea. If you think it's 19 terrorists that did this, you're wrong, and I can prove it to you. And I will prove it to you if I go to that meeting. Just give me one quick thing. Building 47 was behind North and South Towers, right?
Oh, please, are you going to get into... John, are you going to get into 9/11 was an inside job?
No, I'm just going to listen. Forget about putting me down. Listen to the facts. These are physicists and scientists. It's got so sophisticated. The first people that put out conspiracies, Jeff, were just average kind of people, and they didn't know enough technology. Now the people doing it now are PhD physicists. There's a physicist that teach high school physics, and you know what he said? On Building 47, in it, you know what NIST is? N-I-S-T?
John, honestly, I mean, very quickly, what's your point? Your point is it was an inside job.
NIST said that the building fell, okay, at so many seconds, okay, and building number 47. When the physicists looked at it, they said this building fell at free fall. You know what free fall is?
John, again, you're trying to claim that it was an inside job.
It's very important. Just listen. It's just high school physics, Jeff. You took physics in college, right?
John, let me ask you this. Honestly, look, John, I don't want to get into the physics. Let me ask you a very straight question.
No, you have to.
No, hold on. Did you not see the planes hit the buildings?
That's not my point at the moment. That's to discuss at another time. Just listen to me carefully. Okay? So a building cannot fall at free fall because there's all kinds of steel, there's floors with cement, there's all kinds of stuff that's going to resist the building to fall. So it cannot fall at free fall. There's only one way it can fall at free fall, when you blow up the building. Now, building number 7 came down at 5 in the afternoon because they took it down. It was on fire. The firemen said it was dangerous. We got to pull it. How do you wire up a building in 9 hours to take it down? It was already wired, Jeff. Come on. If you watch some of these sites,
John, let me ask you this. Who blew it up?
In the world.
John, let me ask you, who blew it up? The Bush administration?
I don't want to say, Jeff, because then you're going to yell and scream. I don't know who blew up, but it wasn't those terrorists. Believe me.
All right, so I guess what, the planes didn't happen? The hitting the buildings didn't happen? Don't you know that planes are full of gasoline? Don't you realize that? So when they hit a building, the combination of the impact, the explosion with the gasoline causes a massive explosion, that the structure's buckled, and the whole thing came crashing down? I mean, look, think about it. Just logically think about it. Furthermore, just logically, just think about it. Even if, just for the sake of argument, okay, the government was behind it. It was supposedly an inside job. Do you know how many people have to be involved in a conspiracy like this? These guys can't keep anything a secret on Capitol Hill. I know what Trump is having for dinner tonight. And you think they're going to keep this kind of a massive conspiracy involving thousands of people quiet from the American people when our own eyes saw the planes crash into the buildings? Of course it happened. Everybody knows it happened. Here's what I don't understand. Okay, honestly, I don't understand this. Why can we not accept the fact that radical Islamists, Muslim terrorists, did to us on 9/11 what they have been doing to everybody else for 1,500 years? Why is it that we in America somehow think, there's a fringe, a swath of people that somehow think, no, it couldn't have been Muslims. It had to be the Americans. So you mean what, we're exempt? No, really. So that's an inside job. Was the Boston Marathon? That's an inside job. Fort Hood, that's an inside job. San Bernardino, that's an inside job. Orlando, that's an inside job. I mean, just think about what you're saying. We were hit by Muslim terrorists. And what the politicians did was, instead of fighting radical Islam, they looked at each other and said, yeah, now we've got them. Pass the Patriot Act. And ever since then, our civil liberties, they've been on the run. 2:55 here on the Great RKO. No, my friends, if you want to know the big conspiracy of 9/11, I'll tell it to you right now. It was the role of Saudi Arabia. Those were the missing pages from the 9/11 report. That's everything that has now come out, thanks in many ways to WikiLeaks and others, about the role that Saudi Arabia played in those 19 hijackers taking over those 4 planes. To me, that's the mother of all conspiracy theories. And it's there. It's provable. The connection is clear. And that's what the media and our politicians have been covering up. But that's just me. 617-266-6868. Okay. Stacy in Boston, I believe you had an experience with the TSA.
Oh, good afternoon, Jeff.
Hi.
I did. About 4 months ago, right after they announced the new enhanced pat-downs, I was flying home on a business trip out of Fort Lauderdale when I was randomly selected out of the TSA pre-line for the body scanner. Because of my business travel, I don't go through those, so I opted out. The TSA agent explained that it was going to be the new enhanced procedure and really didn't want to do it. So we got a supervisor involved who ultimately told me that you have a choice. You can fly today, you don't have to fly today, but you're going to go through this. And it was tantamount to a sexual assault. It was very aggressive, and it was pretty bad. I mean, it was a fundamental violation of my Fourth Amendment rights.
Stacey, I mean, I don't want to, I mean, I've cited some of the details, but is it as bad as everything I'm reading? Was it, forgive me, was it going up into the private parts area and the rubbing, the touching, the grabbing, the clutching?
It was not grabbing, it was aggressively rubbing.
Is it like three?
It was very aggressive. I mean, they rub very hard. I've been through the enhanced pat-downs previously where they kind of hit and it was a little bit annoying. This was, they're making contact, full contact. It's very inappropriate.
Stacey, now what about female passengers? I know they have female TSA agents, but aren't they? They're all going after Trump for his line about grab him by the pee. It's not grabbing them by the pee. It's more like rubbing them, by the pee. But they're going in there. Have female passengers complained? Are you aware of anything like that?
Yeah, actually, this is prior to this. My wife had an incident. This was going back a couple of years out of Logan. Similar situation. It tapered off at that point, but this is new, and it seems like it's hit or miss. It's not consistent from airport to airport either.
Incredible.
So, some days are good, some days are just kind of who you get.
Did you, if you don't mind me asking, did you feel, I mean, people say this, but I want to, get your personal experience. Did you feel violated after that happened?
My rights were violated. There was no probable cause for what happened. I'm a law-abiding citizen, so in that sense, yes. I mean, did I feel like I'm not a victim, but my rights were definitely violated because there was no reason for what happened. I was cooperative.
Stacey, buddy, I'm up against it, but very quickly, I've got 25 seconds. Did you say anything to them? Like, did you pull a Kuhner and say, what are you doing down there?
Oh, you like this? I had the sheriff's deputy come over and talk about it. He gave me two options. He told me that a story about a drug dealer. I'm like, probable cause? Well, not for you. And he gave me an option of flying private. So what, $60,000 round trip? Come on.
Stacey, I'm with you, brother. I feel for you, man. What are you doing down there?
The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 93.7 WEEI HD2 Lawrence, Boston. It's 3 o'clock.